Welcome back to Precision Trader University. In this video, just want to teach you once again how you can take advantage of one of the most powerful tools in the stock market. BOOMAP allows you to see where the majority of the buyers and sellers are sitting in the stock market, does it for you in a beautiful heat map. So you can see all of these levels where people are just loading up in one area to buy and sell. And then, of course, I teach you three extremely powerful strategies how you can take advantage of that liquidity. So if you'd like to see these plays where we call these plays out today, we're going to go over what we played. We played Tesla, we played ODTE, and we also played Boeing, for example. So we're just going to cover three entries today. If you'd like to see those entries where we sent those out in advance, gave everybody plenty of heads up, screenshots, so they could see exactly what we were looking at, what we were looking to take advantage of, and the strategy. Feel free to go check out the server. Anyway, feel free to ask any questions you'd like. Love to be able to teach ones how to take advantage of BOOMAP. Really the big three: BOOMAP, algos, computer trading levels, how to trade, take advantage of those, and then also vertical breakouts, which is the most powerful price action strategy in the stock market. You've probably looked over it countless times, didn't even see it. And once I teach it to ones, they're quite amazed at all the free money you can find in the stock market using it. So anyway, with that said, we're going to jump into our first entry here on the day, which was Tesla. Now, again, keep in mind, we have three primary strategies with BOOMAP. We have the short at major liquidity, SML. We have the push through strategy, BTS, and then we have our momentum strategy on liquidity momentum strategy. So we see here on BOOMAP, again, everything is nice and visual for us. The orange and red levels are where you have the highest concentration of buyers and sellers. Now, when I zoom it in, we primarily want to focus in on the major increments. Okay, the stuff we can see on the $5 increments. All right. Tesla was in an interesting place today. It was pushing away from all the major liquidity. And we know historically that's not going to happen. The market is going to make its way in here. So just be prepared for it, for Tesla to suck right back into 210, 205, 200. Okay. That's going to happen. But in the short term, the overall market blasted up. And of course, Tesla went right along with it, had plenty of bag holders to fill. So let's go over how we took advantage of Tesla today. So one, we come down to the monster 210 liquidity and proceed to blast off. All right, just shooting straight up. Now, at this point, again, there's really you see this at the start of the day, there's no way to know if the market's going to pump or dump. The only inclination you had was the overall market had dumped really hard yesterday and then it gapped down. That's more times than not going to lead to a recovery. Okay, so you had that at your disposal in the back of your mind, but let's just take that off the table. Say the market hadn't dumped really hard yesterday, hadn't gapped down. It started today exactly where it ended yesterday. There's no way that you want to be. It starts the day here around 210, 211. There's no way you want to be trying to pick a direction at this spot. Again, you do not pick direction when you're sitting at major liquidity starting the day like that. That's a no-go. So with that said, the market starts pushing up, everything just starts blasting up. So we decide to take advantage of our PTS, our push through strategy. Okay, so we did that multiple times. So the first time we took advantage of it in voice chat. So we know whenever you get to major liquidity, in this case would be 215, here's a secret, every major $5 increment is going to have liquidity on it. Okay, so just lock that into your brain and understand that whenever you go up on the scale, so from a $5 increment to a $10 increment to a $50 increment to a $100, the liquidity just grows. So again, all of those levels are going to be important. So it's nice to have BOOMAP just to back up what we already know there. So with that said, we get a beautiful push through on 215. So 215 is a $5 increment, of course. So we're looking for, in this situation, we're like, hey, if we can get a quick push through $1, and again, for the push through strategy, our textbook is $1. So we're looking for the key level here, the $1 push through at 216. As we can see here, we got this beautiful push up into the 216s, and where they got to come, they got to dump it all. They dumped it all the way back into the 214s. All right. Now we took profit on that. We were out of there. Now the question is, are they going to turn this into momentum, or are they just going to continue to dump it back to 210? Well, what happened? They get back on top of 215, support, support, support. And then what do? Blast up. So that's a clear sign that they want to push this to the next major level of liquidity, which in this case would be 220. So, and you better be better know we were waiting for it whenever it got there. So again, I can't blame anybody for coming in here, taking advantage. Again, there's three different things that you could have taken, three beautiful opportunities here. Again, you had the push through. All right. Pull back on that. That's free money. Again, when I say free money, I mean free money. This push through strategy is as free as it gets in the stock market. So, and then again, once you start getting support on this major 215, okay, you get back on top, support, and then you start blasting off. I mean, it's pretty simple. Your stop loss is just back here behind this major liquidity, and you have the VWAP right there with it. So again, stop loss just behind that, and then you're playing with it to the upside, up to the next major level of liquidity. So with that said, where are they pushing it to? 220. Now, we decided to play the push through strategy. When I sent this out to the play channel. We decided to play the push through strategy on 220 as well, just because the overall market was really pushing. So we didn't want to play the short at major liquidity. So short at major liquidity is very simple. We're going to be shorting here right just under 220. So 219.70 to 219.70 to 220, right there in that little 30-cent range, 25 to 30-cent range, right in there. That's where we're starting our position. Okay. So, but in this situation, we wanted to play it a little bit safer because of the volatility in the market, the way that the SPY ES was moving. So I sent it out for our short entry on the push through at 221 to 222. So that was our strike zone, because we know with the push through, if they push it up to 221, that they have to bring it back to 220 if they have any hopes of continuing the trend. But again, the overall market, all the liquidity was down to the downside. The market had already run really hard. Again, things were not in Tesla's favor to keep pushing. Another big thing with Tesla, again, save this in your memory. You will make or protect yourself from losing money big time. Tesla loves to cap out around a $10 move. Now, before the split, it was $30. Now that they've split it, it's a $10 move. So in your back of your mind, say you're playing, a push on Tesla, and you look and say, man, this thing's pushed around $10. Historically, you better be taking that profit, because it's going to be running out of gas somewhere around there historically. So with that said, in this scenario, what do? We play the push through, pushes up $11, right at $11. We get our push through entry up to 221. So beautiful entry there between 220, 221, 222. And then from there, bam, they just start dropping it like a bad habit. So, and where do they suck it back into? Right back into the 215 liquidity. So once you start getting downside, this is what I love to see. This is where I love to hold runners, is when you start dumping like this, and then you have this beautiful liquidity coming here. Oh, now they have something to drag, to suck down to. So in that situation, holding a runner back into that liquidity is not a bad idea whatsoever. So beautiful trading on Tesla. Another one we took advantage of, ODTE here. All right, so we played the push through on ODTE as well. ODTE was pushing up to the monster $100 liquidity today. So we took advantage of our push through strategy, which was a $1 push through. So it would have been 101 to 102. All right. Now in this scenario in voice chat, we did take advantage of the SML, the short at major liquidity, right here at 100, just because it's a $100 increment. It's just, oh God, it's just so hard not to take some quick free money off the $100 increment. But again, the overall market was pumping really hard. So anyway, so we got a beautiful push into the $100 liquidity here. They got a quick dump it back into the 98s. We take it because, again, we know the overall market is really pushing. So again, we send out the entry for the play channel for 101 to 102. See that we pump up to it right into this area and right here. And then from there, just beautiful, beautiful dump. Beautiful dump. See the buyers start coming in here. This acts as a gravitational pull right here. Pull that in there. Just really, really nice. So, yep, another example of the push through strategy working on its best. Now, another one that we took advantage of was Boeing. Now, again, we didn't use the push through strategy on Boeing. We wanted to play the short at the SML. Now, historically, the SML is going to give you way more entries and just excellent. You're talking 90, well over 90% probabilities of success. All right. But when you got a volatile market, again, the push through strategy is way more reliable. Now, with that said, we did take advantage of it twice, but here's why we should have played the push through. So our entry was the short at 155. So our entry was 155 to 156. So that was our entry area. So what we were looking for would be that initial dump right at 155, and potentially if they got it to 156, get into it a little bit more, have a break even around 155.50. All right. And again, you got to keep in mind, market is pushing really hard. Another thing that we had to be careful for was all the major liquidity on Boeing was up here at 158.50 to 160. So we know they really wanted to get there. All right. But we were just wanting to catch a quick pullback. So in reality, we should have played the push through strategy just like we did on Tesla and Etsy. If we'd have done that, we'd have been perfectly fine because our push through strategy would have had us entering at 156. Okay, would have been expecting the $1 push through 155, the major $5 increment, a $1 push through that 155 to 157 would have been our entry. All right, and this is where it topped out at 156 to 157. And because again, where do we know they need to go back to? 155. Again, if they're really going to have any chance of holding this move for any extended period of time, they're going to have to come back and retest on 155. And what do they do? Bam, there's your retest. So they retest. Tell ones to, better just get on out of there, whether that's a break even small one or whatever it is, just get out of there. Because again, all this, they want to get up to this 158.50 to 160 liquidity. Okay. Send out another entry for a short 159 to 160. Okay. Short at major liquidity. Because again, we saw all this liquidity sitting here at 158.50. All right. 158.50 to 160. All right. So, and again, we had already seen Boeing push all day. Monster move here. So again, we knew that there was going to be a lot of profit taken. It wasn't a matter of if, it was when. So we wanted to make sure that we took advantage of that. So sent that out, got in here in this 158.50 area. Again, I would have loved to just, I'd love for it to just pushed up to 160. We could have just loaded the boat. But again, there was just no way to not, with this monster front running liquidity right here, was again, 158.50 was a larger liquidity than 160. You don't see this very often. You're not going to see very often see a monster $10 increment here with this monster liquidity here, and then to have the liquidity below it even bigger. So that's not normal. So needless to say, we knew that it was major front running liquidity and wanted to more than happy to start the position in that area. So, we can see from there, we got it there, and then they dump it. Where they dump it all the way back to? All the way back to the major liquidity back at 155. So beautiful, beautiful dump there. Where do they recover it? We actually played a little pop here on 155 back up to 156, because again, I knew that they wanted to. It's another thing I told the guys, when you see these dumps like this and they do not get into the major liquidity above it, more times than not, what they're going to do is they'll dump it back down to the major liquidity below, and then they love, which is usually a $2 to $5 dump. And then what are they going to do? They're going to try to recover it and push it right back into it. And that's exactly what they did. Pushed it right back into 158, 158s, and then they proceeded to dump it into the close. So anyway, so textbook there. Wish we would have just went ahead and just played the push through on BA as well. But we didn't. So it was just one of those that, just had to take the safe route, which was, get out of there for around the break even. So with that said, the push through strategy, the short at major liquidity, yeah, and the momentum strategy, if you really want to have an advantage over the market using BOOMAP, yeah, please start implementing these strategies, and yeah, you'll see the benefits for yourself. So with that said, appreciate your time, and thank you for watching the video.